mini-series, basically the truth behind the Sumerian Necronomicon, and essentially this Necronomicon revival. So we left off last talking about the considerable amount of work that was going to be going in the mid-70s into this project. The one I was using as an example is this prestigious silver edition. This is actually the second edition. I was saying because of the symmetry of the cover, it's one I prefer actually over the first edition. But basically, you know, they in the 1970s, bringing a book of this caliber to print, you know, whether from a mainstream publisher, certainly from an independent one, this is a serious feat. Now, this was a different age that some people, you know, don't even have experience of in this world. This was, you know, for me, I guess, you know, some people don't have experience of this. So, in the 1970s, you know, things were done by mail, by phone. Things took longer. We didn't live in this current print-on-demand age where, I mean, you know, you look at that, and then the amount of time and work, the typesetting that was required. For example, this miniseries and essentially season 4 of Mardukite TV is based off Liber R for the Mardukite Chamberlains. Is Necronomicon Revelations, also known as 9 Gates of the Kingdom of Shadows. So, you know, we as an organization can have books like this produced from the internal work that we do, and even in the prestige of hardcovers, because we put together seven basically books that compose this Anunnaki Mardukite Necronomicon cycle, and now they're actually all available in one huge hardcover. It's called Necronomicon Anunnaki Legacy, and it's huge. It's 777 pages, has all of the materials from the last several years of the Mardukite Chamberlains' work all in one. So, you know, kind of those that followed through with us, and, you know, we did a lot of work over the last couple of years internally and publicly to get to this point. And, you know, students these days are a little bit spoiled being able to have everything just all in one like this. So, definitely a different age. So, considering the equipment and the efforts involved, especially in those days, because computers were not what they were today, or even available to the average citizen, and you know, if you weren't already part of big publishing, the labor, the equipment, the materials, these were not readily at your disposal. So, you know, really, when you think about the efforts that go into like the Sumerian group, or efforts of like the Mardukite Chamberlains, you know, it's only loosely maybe even spoken in pop culture, metaphysical literature, cult materials, about the power exercised simply by the mass amounts of energy moving, like intentional efforts in themselves that can render projects with life. And, you know, artists kind of know what I'm talking about here, but, you know, in an essence like this, where it's meant to be practical, it's not just a passive piece to be looked at, you know, on the wall. The other aspect is that this power that goes into these projects, there's no even consideration to what occurs when it reaches the reality of someone outside of the originators. And, you know, we can guess at how the Sumerian group was interacting and how they progressed and how they went about some of their things from an internal perspective, working with the Mardukite Chamberlains now for 3 years on our endeavors relating to the Babylonian Sumerian Anunnaki, its interpretation into the Necronomicon mythos, this idea of dimensions, gates, aliens, God's origination of humans, matrix realities. This is big stuff, and it's been the core of, well, not only my life for the last several years, a full time, but also many other active people out there. So it's serious stuff. It's not child's play. It's not fantasy. Whether some of the things end up becoming relayed in fictional works, you know, like the way Lovecraft did, or the way L. Ron Hubbard did, or, you know, that's just an artist's medium. But for our purposes, the last several years, it has been some hardcore Necronomical, Anunnaki, Sumerian, and Babylonian research. And so it is not surprising that the same would be found in, you know, of all editions of the Necronomicon on the market, the Simonian work is really the predecessor, you know, not including the loose and scattered references in Lovecraftian literature, because Lovecraft never wrote a Necronomicon or produced one, and honestly, the little fragments and hashes that writers from his circle later developed, you know, it's kind of all pie in the sky when it comes down to the heart and core of the Necronomicon. So there's a lesser known version edited by George Hay that appeared a couple years after, or shortly thereafter, but the two were unconnected, as you know, a seeker will instantly find. So the term and the name Necronomicon, it's a semantic that has many meanings and concepts, and can incorporate many different things, because as you can see, even you know, years later now, we've had the Simon Necronomicon setting the standard. What new popular edition has emerged, but from probably the largest occult publisher currently operating, and that's Llewellyn Publications, and they've since, you know, I'm sure most people watching this, if you're familiar with the Necronomicon side more than the Anunnaki side, or both, you know, there's the Donald Tyson serial, which is a systematic way of incorporating Lovecraftian concepts into ritual and ceremonial magic. We will be talking about this also, in addition to other aspects, as the truth behind the Necronomicon series unfolds.